Welcome back to another episode of 3 Reasons Why All Cops Are Bastards, number 2. So for our first case, we're going to look at Tacoma in Washington State. On Saturday, January 23rd, 2021, there was some street racing that was going on at nighttime in downtown Tacoma. So more than 100 people were there for these street races. You had people doing donuts, all kind of car tricks and stuff. And so that's obviously illegal. The police were called, the police showed up. And so one officer claimed that he was driving past a crowd that was doing some of the street racing. There was a crowd of people that were standing in the middle of the street, more than 100 people, clearly. And he claimed that one person got hit, and he was concerned about them. So he performed a U-turn in the middle of the street to go drive into the middle of a crowd. And when the crowd surrounded him, expectedly, I would expect that to happen in Tacoma, he then floored it and ran over not one but 2 people, and several people were sent to the hospital. And there are several questions with the story. Now, I will go ahead and tell you, in the interest of full disclosure, yes, the officer's car was being hit on by the people who surrounded the car. However, if you know that lately there's been a lot of anti-police activity happening in Washington State, which is well known for that because Washington State has Seattle. Why would you drive into a crowd of people? Situational awareness. I've worked law enforcement and also military, so I better not see a single excuse for this. Because so far, every person who has spoken about this, who has tried to defend the officer, has at least conceded that the officer should have had better situational awareness. So if you don't concede that, I'm gonna ban you from the channel if you leave a stupid ass comment. So don't do it. Just save yourself the freaking trouble. Okay? There is no excuse to allow yourself to become surrounded if you are a police officer and you have a vehicle that obviously moves faster than most people. How did your vehicle become surrounded if you were paying attention to your surroundings? No, he was paying attention. He was looking for a reason to run people over. It would not surprise me if some people were to find out who that cop was and were to pay him some visits. And to be honest with you, in my honest opinion, he deserves it. Move over to Russia. In Russia right now, you have the police who are abusing people because there are protests against the police and also against Vladimir Putin, the leader of Russia. Why is that? Because there is a man by the name of Alexei Navalny who is a political opposition leader who is trying to become the leader of Russia right now. And Vladimir Putin allegedly has tried everything from killing this man to locking him up to prevent him from ever reaching that particular goal. Allegedly, Vladimir Putin and his thugs tried to poison Navalny in Germany, and so Navalny had to spend some days in a German hospital. All right, and so Navalny is now locked up, and it's not clear what exactly he did to actually deserve this, but the people did not respond well to that. People decided to go and protest. And so people poured onto the streets in more than 100 Russian cities. And the Russian police arrested thousands of people, were abusing them, were beating them, were treating them less than human. And so basically, you have the exact same scenario in Russia as you do here. People are being abused by the police, by pigs in Russia, Russian pigs. You know, and I'm not telling people there to bring violence. What I am saying is people should defend themselves against pigs, against disgusting road pirates. And it's not just the pigs there that people should rise up against. It's also against Vladimir Putin, who is a thug by every stretch of the imagination. He has behaved like an authoritarian dictator and a freaking thug who utilizes his police the exact same way. You know, the police there do not respect rights because honestly, in that country, people don't really have rights. People don't really have a say. You know, the media, people don't really see that the media is state controlled, but it really is. And when you really think about it, the media and the powers that be in Russia, I want you to understand, they want to hold on to Vladimir Putin's iron grip over that country. And so you've even seen Navalny's wife arrested. I mean, I just don't understand what's going on in Russia. But the one thing that I do understand, the one thing that I do understand is that people are rising up, and they are doing it because they are emboldened by what we're doing in America right now. You know, when people in Russia see that on Sunday, you know, the people of Tacoma decided to go take to the streets, you know, and raise hell over a police officer running over, you know, citizens. I like the fact that that was happening. I like the fact that people were rising up against police brutality. You know, even though there have been people out there, there have been targeted, there have been beaten by cops, they have been killed by cops during these protests, during these riots. I want you to understand, we cannot give up in America. What we're doing in America is having an effect across the world. I mean, even when you look at Tunisia, you know, people are standing up. People are rising up against police, their brutal tactics, inequality, government bans on gatherings. You know, I totally understand that the government is trying to restrict COVID-19. I get that part. But what the government should not be doing is having their cops beat people in the streets. What the government should not have is people running from the cops and them being gunned down. What the government cannot have happen is poor people who are losing their businesses, being abused by their own government, but then at the same time, your pigs, your road pirates are also abusing people. Citizens of nations across the world are sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. You're watching, you who was watching this video, you're probably sick of this shit. And at some point, we gotta do something. At some point, when these goddamn road pirates, these fucking pigs, push, we gotta push back. And if some of them end up dead as a fucking result of it, so the fuck what?